Hi, everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you for joining me today on this very lovely day, at least here in Arizona. And I just want to say, welcome to my vidcast. This is your place for pop culture news, views, and opinions. I cover anime, television, film, music, sometimes video games, and of course, novels. And I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a like, share it out to everyone, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, and please subscribe. I don't usually like to go that dramatic, but please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 since I started this 1,000 subscriber campaign. I have received so much love from small creators, from big creators, and I just appreciate it a great deal. Let's keep that momentum going. Okay, so it's been kind of a weird couple of weeks. I normally like to talk about good news, but I've either gotten mediocre news or outright bad news to talk about, and I hate that. I like to talk about things that I'm positive for as well, and this is something that I am excited for. So buckle up because we are going to get a new Godzilla movie. This is fantastic. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. Growing up, most of you know my background. I grew up a pastor's kid in Dallas, Texas. That's where I'm from. I'm still a Christian to this day. I'm not one of these crazy PKs who went off and became a serial killer. I'm actually still fully sold out for Jesus, and I make no shame of that. But that did come with growing up with some restrictions, and that included what I could and could not watch on television. But one of the things that my mom and dad um, had no issue showing me was Godzilla films, mainly because a lot of the older ones, with a lot of exceptions, but most of the older ones, they're kind of have that. Almost cheesy vibe a little bit, especially going the 60s to the 80s. A lot of the Godzilla films are kind of cheesy just because of how things were done back then. I'm not saying that the filmmakers behind them weren't talented. They clearly were. I mean, the fact that you could put someone in a suit as well designed as the Godzilla one, even back then, is just amazing to me. But Godzilla has always been a huge staple in my pop culture evolution. I always talk about Batman being my favorite. Of course, he is. Then there's Spider Man, Star Trek, Star Wars, Transformers was a huge part of my pop culture fandom, and of course Godzilla. And I don't get to talk about Godzilla very often. If you would like me to talk about Godzilla more, please let me know in the comments. But we've got a new title reveal teaser trailer for the new upcoming film from Warner Brothers Discovery and Legendary Pictures. So this is according to Godzilla-movies.com, and I can't show the teaser because YouTube hates little creators like me. So I'll definitely get a copyright strike if I do. So I'll just walk you through it. It says Legendary have dropped the first teaser trailer for the upcoming Godzilla vs Kong sequel directed by Adam Wingard. Previously thought to be titled Godzilla and Kong, the film official title is Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire and will arrive in theaters March 15th. Now, then they have a link to the trailer, which it shows Kong sitting on that throne that you saw in Godzilla vs. Kong. And there's all these bones of different titans surrounding him. He's kind of like, his eyes are like glowing. There's like this red haze around him. The camera pans out, and you see skeletons of a Kong and a Godzilla. And then the title comes up with the release date. Very, very effective trailer. It got me pumping. I am so freaking excited for this movie. I love the legendary MonsterVerse films. I will admit, Kong Skull Island, I wasn't crazy about. I loved Godzilla. I loved Godzilla King of the Monsters. I loved Godzilla vs. Kong. And I can't wait to see what's next. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. I think we're going to go deeper into the legend of the Titans. Hopefully, we'll get to see more because we've seen Mothra and King Ghidorah, and Rodan. I hope we get to see more. Like in Godzilla King of the Monsters, they had ones that were more based on the kaiju from the Godzilla films. Kaiju just means giant monster, and the most American way I can put it, but they didn't really have a whole lot of official kaiju from those films. And I really hope that we get to see that. I know Chimera is kind of making a comeback on Netflix, but of course, I don't think that'll be connected to the MonsterVerse. But I did want to bring up that also on Godzilla-movies.com, they have the official synopsis for the new film. It says the latest entry follows up the explosive showdown of Godzilla vs. Kong with an all-new cinematic adventure pitting the almighty Kong and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal undiscovered threat hidden within our world, challenging their very existence and our own. The epic new film will delve further into the histories of these titans, their origins, and the mystery of Skull Island and beyond, while uncovering the mythic battle that helped forge these extraordinary beings and tied them to humankind forever. So I'm very excited about this. Now, in Godzilla vs. Kong, they made this statement that the islanders who are living on Skull Island had been evacuated. So I'm wondering if they're going to do a thing where Skull Island becomes Monster Island. So for those of you unfamiliar, in the Godzilla films and then later in the YA novels that came, or at least in America, I don't know if these were official Japanese novels, but there was some YA novels that were released when I was a teenager that had explored kind of Godzilla lore. Um, there was this island that off in the Pacific somewhere that was a no-fly zone, a no-go zone, and it was specifically for the Titans, and humanity would sometimes would ship fish there and stuff just to kind of keep the monsters, uh, away from the rest of the world. And occasionally one would escape, and then they would summon Godzilla to fight it, that kind of thing. There was actually a really interesting one that I read where aliens actually, giant aliens actually invaded the Earth, and they had to use all the monsters from Monster Island with Godzilla leading them. And that one was really interesting because they were trying to make Godzilla like he was intelligent. So even though he couldn't speak, he could kind of like rationalize and think. And so you would read his thoughts about what was going on. It was really interesting. But anyway, lots of fun. I don't know if they're going to do that for these legendary films. That would be really interesting if they went down that road. But I am super excited for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I don't know why they put the X there. And that's kind of a Japanese filmmaking thing where they'll put uh, an X. It usually means unknown or extreme, depending on who the filmmaker is. But maybe that they're further exploring the roots of Godzilla as a sort of Japanese property, which of course I am all on board for. I think that from what we've seen of this MonsterVerse, that we're going to get a huge, expansive sort of way. I think we're going to enjoy what we see. Like I said, now, please note, I'm not saying these films, have some introspection on humanity and what it means to be human and what the monsters really represent and all that. No, they're just really good movies about the struggle of man versus nature, told in this simplified way with the Titans, with the kaiju. And they're really exciting. They're really fun. I'm having a blast watching them, and I can't wait for the next one. I think that this new one, which is made with Legendary Pictures and Toho, I think it'll be fantastic. I think that we'll get to see some new things come down the line. I really hope that this franchise has been kind of above sort of the political correctness infiltration of cinema, similar to Top Gun Maverick, although obviously Top Gun Maverick is way superior than I will admit that, of any of the MonsterVerse films, but they still have risen above that. So I really hope that trend continues, that they just focus on giving us really great stories about monsters fighting each other and how humanity can survive. I think it'll be a smash, and I cannot wait until May 2024. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.